Bardock, besides training alone in the room, he trains with Kakarot, and it is with his son that Bardock learns to transform into a Super Saiyan Blue. In addition, he passes the knowledge that Ginny could not share due to his gestation. In this way, he manages to have several intense fights with his son in the time room. Ginny goes with her family to Gohan's house to visit the Elder, who helped her when she arrived on Earth. She tells how she managed to defeat a god, uniting the Kamehameha with the mortal lightning, a technique that her children learned in the other world. Saiyan's family spends several hours at Gohan's house. After this visit, they leave for Master Roshi's house to visit him. In this visit, Kakarot meets Kuririn, who is a disciple of Master Roshi. Knowing that Ginny is the goddess of the earth, Kuririn kneels, showing her respect for someone so important. He also pays respects to Bardock and his children. "You don't have to be so formal, boy. Please, Lady Goddess, as soon as I finish my training with Master Roshi, I can be your disciple. But of course you can train with me and my children in the temple." Master Roshi comments that he grew up fast. Kakarot explains that he is like that because of the time room. "I've trained there so many times that I think I'm older than you." So Master says he's over 300 years old. Raditz says he can use the Dragon Balls to become younger, so he can live for more years. The Master says that's a great idea. A few months later, Bardock is meditating. With the exception of Raditz, who is in the time room training, his family and friends are close to Saiyans. Suddenly, he feels something. Saiyan says he is feeling the divine powers approaching Earth. "I feel that these powers are from a god of destruction and an angel. This one is not from Bios." Saiyans is on alert for any emergency. "This one is from Champa and Vados." Bardock is aware of Kakarot's promise to Vados. Saiyans is a little calmer. Shortly after, Vados and Champa appear. "Welcome to Earth." Seeing Bardock, Champa says, "Bringing someone back who was destroyed by Hakai is impressive." Due to the resemblance to Bios, Bardock is a little bothered by Champa's presence. The god realizes, so he says it has nothing to do with the fight he has with Bios. "Despite being my brother, he is my rival." Kakarot asks Champa what he intends to ask the dragon god. Champa reveals that his wish is very simple. He wants the most delicious foods and drinks in the multiverse. Upon hearing this, Sans has an idea. Ginny invites Champa and Vados to taste the foods she has prepared for her family. A feast is served, and Vados and Champa are delighted with the foods of Earth. The angel says she has never tasted something so good in her entire life. Champa says the foods of Earth are great. Here on Earth, there are even better foods. At this moment, Champa asks Vados if there is a planet Earth in Universe 6. After investigating with his sacred scepter, Vados informs God that the Earth of Universe 6 was destroyed due to a war. Champa says he already knows what he will ask the Dragon God. May the Earth of Universe 6 be restored with the Earthlings, so he and Vados will be able to enjoy the culinary of the Earth. But before gathering the spheres, Champa challenges Bardock. "I want to see your current power. I know you must have strengthened. This will be a great opportunity to test my powers. Let's see who has more strength in an arm drop." Bardock turns into a Super Saiyan Blue. He didn't learn anything from the defeat he had a year ago. His confidence is his weak point. When the competition begins, the temple begins to collapse. Ginny begins to worry that this friendly competition escalates to something worse. She doesn't want the Earthlings to suffer. It seems that Bardock and Mr. Champa are tied. Before the temple is destroyed, Vados covers Champa and Bardock with an energy shield. "I noticed your concern." 10 minutes pass and Champa begins to win the competition, until Bardock uses the Super Saiyan's Blue with the Kaioken increased by 20 times. Thanks to this tactic, Bardock beats Champa. Wow, Bardock took the competition very seriously. Bardock feels the negative effects of using the Kaioken at a very high level. The Saiyans get very tired. "Don't think you're more powerful than a god. That was just a joke," says Champa. A few seconds later, Bardock's power is recovering. Vados thinks, this Saiyan's family is at a very high level. Soon after, they leave to gather the Dragon Spheres. With Kakarot's help, they find all the spheres that are in Universe 7 very quickly. Soon after, they go to Universe 6, where this time there are 4 spheres. What is your wish? Resurrect all humans and rebuild the planet Earth from this universe. The dragon fulfills the wish of Hakaishin. I'll make sure there's no more stupid war. I want to enjoy Earth's food for a long time. Vados, Champa, and Kakarot go to planet Earth in Universe 6. The trio goes to the leader of the most powerful country on Earth, the same that entered in the war against the second most powerful nation. The god tells the reason that made him revive the humans. The leader says he will provide all the food he can. With the help of Vados, Champa's voice is transmitted to all people on Earth. He says he revived all the people after the war for a noble reason. He just wants this world to live in peace. Wow, how benevolent you are, Mr. Champa. With this god by my side, no one will want to challenge my country. But Champa orders him to prepare several meals to take home. So the palace employees make the best meals for Champa to take. Vados keeps all this inside his magical scepter. On Earth, in Universe 6, Champa says he will visit them to taste more delicious foods. Miss, can you train me the next time you come here? Yes, Kakarot, but if you want, you can go to Mr. Champa's planet. I will always be at your disposal to train you. Kakarot, don't show up in my world empty-handed. Take something tasty for me to eat. After saying these words, Vados uses his powers and leaves with Champa. Over the months, Vados and Champa visit the planet Earth a few times, and Vados, like the Promised One, trains Kakarot while Champa is on Earth. Sans finds out that there is the Ultra Instinct. Despite having worked hard during the training, Kakarot cannot activate the Ultra Instinct. Vados, I have a proposal. If you want, I can turn you into the God of Destruction of Universe 6. What do you think? On other occasions, Vados had said that Champa is a terrible god of destruction, and that his brother is also another god who performs his function horribly. I accept your proposal, miss. Vados is very happy, since she really likes to be with Kakarot. The angel says that this will be a secret, so Vados begins to train Kakarot with the objective of making him a god. But time goes by. Amora enters the time room when her brother is training. The first time she enters, Kakarot begins to teach her sister how to fight. She also trained with Raditz on another occasion. After leaving the time room, Janit takes her daughter to visit the planet Vegeta. On arrival, the two travel all over the planet. Then, after visiting the most beautiful places on the planet Vegeta, they move to the palace. The Queen of Planet Vegeta kept her word. The Saiyans do not conquer planets as they used to. They maintain a lifestyle similar to the Saiyans of Universe 6. They work on the planets that were dominated by Frieza and Vegeta, and also in other worlds that were never dominated. God and his daughter are well received by the Queen. The only problem is Vegeta, who does not like Ginny and her family because she and her children are Saiyans who have become gods. Mora realizes that Vegeta is uncomfortable with their presence. Saiyans is very angry with the prince's disdain, so she challenges Vegeta to a fight. Violet thinks it's a great idea, while Ginny speaks mentally to her daughter. Be careful not to kill Prince Vegeta. This bitch is very insolent. I will not lower the guard and I will not take it lightly with her. I know how powerful she can be. Several soldiers gather to watch the prince's fight against the daughter of the goddess, but she only has 5,000 fighting power. Even with this power, she is not able to defeat the prince. I think she has much more power than it seems. The fight begins, and Vegeta is surprised by the level of power that Amora has. The Saiyan shows her skills to the prince, defeating him without having to use all her power. All the Saiyans are surprised by the power that the girl has. This bitch managed to beat me with a few blows. The attacks were so strong that the prince needs to be taken to heal his wounds. In a recovery machine, look, Kuririn, it looks like I grew up and you're still little. She is very powerful. Her power went from 80,000 units in a short time. Amora gains the admiration of many Saiyans and the anger of others who did not like the result of the fight. This bitch humiliated our prince in front of everyone. I wanted to have enough power to defeat this bitch. Other Saiyans who admire Vegeta agree with her. You're ingrate. How dare you speak ill of the daughter of the goddess? She slaps the face of the Saiyans who spoke ill of Amora. Two groups begin an intense fight. The Saiyans revolted against the defenders of the goddess and her daughter. The fight is held by the queen's guards. The Saiyans are fast, and soon everything returns to normal. Receive a good reward for your insolence, ungrateful curses. The wounds are taken to be healed in the recovery machines. In a room of the palace, Violeta comments that the Saiyans race has prospered with its new way of life. She says that despite being richer and being loved by her subjects, she feels very alone. Violeta asks to bring King Vegeta. Jean knows how Violeta feels. When Bardock was dead, she felt the same feeling of loneliness. Jean thinks that this is unfair to the other Saiyans who did not have their husbands revived. But the Queen's request was so sincere that Jean decides to attend to Violeta's request. The goddess communicates with King Yema. Tell me, King Yema, if King Vegeta has already been reincarnated. He is still paying for his sins. In 7 years, he will reincarnate without his memories, just like all the other corrupted Heart Saiyans. Most of the Saiyans were reincarnated, with their memories erased. Since he came to the other world, King Vegeta suffers non-stop. This endless torment makes him reflect on his past actions. If I had the opportunity to start over, I would do everything differently. The voice of a woman echoes throughout the environment. Do you want to start over, King Vegeta? Have a new life as a good Saiyans next to your family? Are you really willing to change and be a new Saiyans? Yes, I do. I do whatever you want, but get me out of this place. Jean says he shouldn't break that promise. The king asks who she is. I am the goddess of the earth. Soon you will meet me. The earth spheres had their powers increased, so it won't be a problem to revive a person after a few years of their death. Meanwhile, on Earth, Kuririn arrives at the Temple of the Gods. Kuririn wants to win the next martial arts tournament. He can't stand being a loser. In the first tournament he participated, he was defeated by Jackie Chun. In the second tournament, he lost to Yamcha, Bulma's boyfriend. And in the third, he lost again to Yamcha. Enough of so many defeats. In the next tournament, I'm going to beat Yamcha. Kuririn is received by Raditz, who says that if he wants to train with Jean, he will have to wait. He says his mother is solving a very important issue on another planet. That's why he doesn't know when she'll be back. But don't be discouraged. We can start training right now. At this moment, Kakarot is gathering the Dragon Spheres to revive King Vegeta. For the second time, the Saiyans takes the spheres that are with Pilaf. You gathered 5 Dragon Spheres. Thank you. This will save me some work, says Kakarot as he leaves. This damn thing always steals my spheres. He has to be killed. Pilaf heard that it was Kakarot who destroyed the Red Ribbon Force. The person who told him was one of the survivors of the attack. Pilaf knows that Kakarot is the son of a goddess. The little villain believes that the only creature that can defeat Kakarot and the goddess is the Piccolo of Aimao, an ancient demon who is imprisoned in the ocean. So Pilaf goes in search of the imprisoned demon. Moments later, Kakarot finds the 2 missing spheres. He summons the dragon and asks to revive King Vegeta in his homeland, in the Palace of the Saiyans. King Vegeta appears before his wife and goddess. Violeta hugs her husband. Thank you, goddess, for meeting my request. Are you the goddess? Yes, it's me. Thank you for getting me out of that hell. Show your gratitude for being a good king. Violeta says that he would spend another 7 years suffering and then be reincarnated without his memories. Damn, bitch. I will increase my power to defeat you in a duel in front of everyone. Vegeta launches several punches and kicks in the air, when suddenly he hears the Amora voice. You're gonna have to train a lot to defeat me someday, Prince. Vegeta thinks, damn it, he came to Zumbar me. Vegeta is back. Very angry, he turns to insult his rival. The prince sees his father next to his mother. Vegeta is stunned. He did not expect his father to be revived. King Vegeta goes to his son and hugs him. Vegeta is surprised and speechless. Meanwhile, on Earth, Kuririn does some basic training before entering the time room. Kuririn and Raditz wait for Bardock to end another day of training. In addition, Kuririn wants to greet the goddess before entering the room. A new Saiyan will be part of the family. Fasha is pregnant, and due to her pregnancy, she only does mental training. Hours later, Jean appears with her daughter. Kuririn greets the goddess and her daughter. The last time I saw you, you were a baby, says Kuririn. Amora shakes hands with Kuririn and says he seems to be a cool boy. Kakarot finds out what happened on planet Vegeta. She mocks the prince, saying he was very brave because he lost the fight. She says he started training with the intention of defeating her. I think he's going to have to work hard to defeat you, little sister. That's what I told him. Bardock finally finished another day of training in the time room. So, Raditz and Kuririn enter the room to train. Just like Yamcha, Kuririn has a lot of trouble moving. But if he wants to beat Yamcha, he'll have to work hard. Kuririn trains in the room with Raditz and then with Kakarot. Kuririn enters the time room 3 times, and his result is impressive. Amora plays with Kuririn, saying he hasn't grown at all. Kuririn gets very angry. He says he's taller than her. No, little zombie, I'm going to get taller and more powerful. Vegeta said he's going to defeat me next time. I can't let him beat me. Kakarot calls his sister to train. In response, she says she will only leave the room when she releases her divine powers. Amora and Kakarot spend a long time in the time room, a 9-year training without stopping. In the time room, there is a place where the Saiyans can wear new training clothes. Jean was responsible for providing the clothes. Saiyans is a fan of fighting and training just like Kakarot. Kakarot always defeats his sister when the fights become more serious. This makes Amora very angry. Amora's desire to surpass her brother is what makes Amora train like crazy. As for the transformations, she gets all the transformations known by the Saiyans. When Amora leaves the time room with her brother, everyone is surprised by the power and especially by his beautiful appearance. Look, Kuririn, it looks like I grew up and you're still little. The ex-guardian, which is the name that the ancient Kami-sama adopted, he says that his evil part has been released. Jean, please come with me. He and the goddess go to the place where Piccolo is. There are 2 Piccolos in this world, Mr. Pilaf? He and I are an individual. I am evil, and he is just my good part. Thanks to Jean, who evolved my technique, I can purify you. Purify? What do you mean by that? He uses the Coffin of Light. Piccolo is trapped by the chains. Soon after, the Namekuseigen absorbs Piccolo. Within former Guardian's spiritual universe, he locks his evil part in the Coffin of Light. Your evil power will be purified and all your energy will be mine. In a short time, you will disappear.
Janae gives a scolding to Pilaf and his servants. Increasing his ki, she says that Piccolo could have killed many people on Earth, which would be terrible. She says they can't do evil. They beg for forgiveness and say they will follow her advice. Vados visits planet Earth. The angel says he came in search of a delicious meal. Mr. Popo begins to prepare some food for her to take to the god of destruction. Meanwhile, Vados praises Mora, saying that she was very beautiful and powerful. Kurin had already heard about Vados and Champa when she was with Kakarot. Vados has a unique and very exotic beauty. Vados wanted to train Kakarot. However, Champa did not want to visit the planet Earth of Universe 7. So, with beautiful words, Vados managed to get Champa's permission to visit Earth. Vados intends to take Kakarot to Universe 6. She wants Kakarot to know better the universe he will take care of in the near future. With that in mind, she invites Kakarot to train in the world of the God of Destruction. Mora says she has heard that there is a world of Saiyans in Universe 6. Mora asks Vados if she can know the planet Sadala. It will be a pleasure to take you there. In a place far from Vados, Bardock questions his son. The friendship you have with Vados is very strong. Are you having a relationship with her, Kakarot? The Saiyan says that Vados is just his mentor, and nothing more than that. Bardock presses Kakarot to reveal what he hides. Kakarot says that Vados will turn him into a god of destruction. He explains that Vados is preparing everything so that in the end he does not have problems with Champa. Bardock says that despite being very risky, he believes that his son can become a god better than Champa. Minutes later, Kakarot and his sister prepared to visit Universe 6. They say goodbye to their family. Kurin, very excited, says goodbye to Mora. Bardock realizes that Kurin is very excited. What a stupid boy! Mora is very happy that Vados has agreed to take her to know the world of the Saiyans of Universe 6. Kakarot feels that several powers are disappearing on a nearby planet. Vados looks in his binoculars and discovers that a conflict of global proportions is happening. A race with advanced technology called Kyodans invaded a planet to conquer and extract natural resources from a planet called Aura. The invaders have the advantage. They use their own ki as ammunition for their weapons. The Origins still live in a medieval era with guilds and kingdoms. To defend themselves from the invaders, the Origins use magic and spells. The Kyodans' armament is lethal, and in a short time they dominated 90% of the planet. All this is said by Vados, who makes a short summary of the conflict. "Come on, men, the capital of the kingdom is about to fall," orders a commander of the invading army. An army of tanks and soldiers is advancing towards the capital of the last kingdom, as all the others have fallen. Suddenly, a rain of energy rays falls on the invading army, destroying all the war tanks. With the help of Vados, Kakarot's voice is transmitted to everyone. The gods came to end this unfair war. The soldiers, following the orders of their commanders, attack Kakarot, Vados, and Amora. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the soldiers who also heard Kakarot's voice see that the enemy army is weakened. So the warriors advance to defend the capital of the kingdom. With energy rays, several soldiers are killed in the mountains by Kakarot and Amora. The rest of the army is destroyed by soldiers of the kingdom. After the victory, the army celebrates. "Thank you for the valuable help. I am Cardon, the lord of this region. Can you say your names? I am Kakarot, and this is my sister Amora, and this beautiful lady is my master Vados. We learned about this unfair conflict and decided to end this war," says Kakarot. Vados says that there are still troops scattered throughout some areas. "See you soon, Cardon. After we destroy these troops, we will go to the world of the invaders to force their leader to surrender." Vados hands a device to the king so that he can communicate with her. "Brother, let's revive everyone who died. We will revive those who want to return. Maybe some Origins want to stay in paradise. Can you revive our people? I can't, but there is a God who can. We will do our best to bring those who were eliminated back to life." Kakarot, Vados, and Amora advance at full speed across the planet. Hundreds of meters before reaching the platoons, the deities are attacked. However, it is useless. All the platoons are defeated. Other platoons surrender and ask for mercy. Vados can tell me which are the soldiers who did not kill in this war. Amora, the angel, says that everyone killed. The most cruel took advantage of the women before sending them to the other world. This is enough to make Kakarot angry, and Amora too. "Brother, they do not deserve your forgiveness," says Amora. The merciless Saiyans launches several splashes of energy against the soldiers. "Damn it, I hope they all go to hell and that no one is reincarnated. If you want, I can provide for that." Amora says she will be very happy if they remain in the place they deserve, which is hell. Vados communicates with King Yema of Universe 6. The angel says she will send a list with the names of the soldiers who were killed in the Planet Aura War affair. and that those who are on that list must remain in hell forever. Lady, our army was completely annihilated by only 2 individuals who identified themselves as gods. There was a third, but she did nothing. She only served as support for the other 2. The Empress orders her best troops with the most advanced weapons to head for the planet. Before the ships can take off, Kakarot, Vados, and Amora arrive on the planet, passing through all the defenses with extreme ease. The trio follows to the Empress's palace. No one can stop Kakarot, Amora, and Vados. They will have to negotiate a surrender with these gods. Our army will be totally annihilated. Unfortunately, my power is not enough to defeat them. The 3 enter the command room where the Empress is with her officers. Dandara says everyone should stay calm. Kakarot says she has an evil heart, like most of those who are with her. Kakarot says she and the other commanders must renounce their positions and let other people take the lead. Kakarot calls everyone he feels has a good heart. With the help of Vados, Kakarot chooses the most qualified person to assume the position of Empress. With his powers, Vados investigates the lives of all the people Kakarot believes have a pure heart. They will form a good government, and their world will not fall into disgrace after the death of the Supreme Empress.
You will be the new Empress. Dandara renounces her position in public and declares the end of the war. She says that supreme entities decided she should renounce her position and pay for her crimes. After saying that, Saiyans kills the Empress and all the leaders who have evil hearts. Vados includes the name of these Kyodans in the list he will send to Mr. Imadayo. With the device provided by Vados, the new Empress communicates with Ricardo. The new leader guarantees that her people will not attack the planet Aura. She also makes an apology in addition to a promise. This is a resuscitation for the damage caused. After solving this issue, the trio departs for the planet Sadala. Upon arriving on the planet, Amora begins to travel throughout the world of the Saiyans, visiting the most beautiful places on the planet. All this with the help of Vados. Kakarot's sister loves nature and likes animals. While Amora and Vados are in a place talking to a couple of elderly Saiyans, Kakarot goes to a point on the planet. The Saiyans goes to the place where he finds a girl who is doing several fighting poses. This style seems to be very good. What's his name? His name is Tung Sanjin. It's a fighting style of my late grandfather. Kakarot starts doing some fighting poses. He says he also knows how to fight. This guy doesn't know who I am? Everyone on the planet Sadala knows me. Did he come from another planet? It's rare for a Saiyans to have a tail. What race do you belong to? Kakarot says he's a Saiyans, just like her. Kakarot says there's no reason to hide. He says it's from another universe, and that he came especially to this world just to meet another planet inhabited by Saiyans. I've heard of and seen images, but I didn't have the opportunity to visit this world. After saying that, they spend some more time talking. He shows one of his transformations, the Super Saiyans. She is very impressed and asks Kakarot to teach her how to transform. She reveals her true identity. I am the princess of this planet. My name is Saphira. Become my master. I swear you will be very well paid. I promise to be a great student. Kakarot realizes that Saphira has a very pure heart and soul. Maybe it's not a problem to teach her how to transform. Kakarot explains what she should do to transform. However, she can't. Kakarot says she doesn't need to be paid to pass on her knowledge to a deserving person. Kakarot says Saphira will have to wait until he solves a very important matter. It will take a while, but he promises that one day he will come back to train her. He reveals that there are more transformations besides the Super Saiyans. Kakarot, I'll wait as long as it takes. Let's go to the palace so you can meet my father. Amora and Vados arrive and meet the princess. The trio, along with the princess, enter the palace and await the king in a guest room. Moments later, the king appears and greets the guests. My daughter told me everything about Mr. Kakarot. You can show me this power you call Super Saiyans. He shows Super Saiyans and all other forms. Kakarot becomes a guest of honor of the king.
Come back soon, Kakarot, so I can train with you. Kakarot, Amora, and Vados go to the world of Champa. Where are the foods? Who are you? I am Amora, Kakarot's sister. You grew up fast. How about a fight with me, Amora? The Saiyan says it will be an honor to fight a god of destruction. Amora turns into Super Saiyan's blue, and the fight begins with the Saiyans attacking the god at full speed. I trained a little after the defeat I had against your mother and your brothers. Amora manages to connect several blows to the god, causing considerable damage in Champa. She applies the knowledge she acquired with her brother, the same knowledge that Kakarot learned from Vados. However, she ends up forgetting to apply some more complex movements. Even so, this is enough to make Champa very angry. Champa releases his fighting power with the fury of an unyielding god. Kakarot realizes that the fight is getting serious and that his sister will have problems. He decides to intervene, but Amora asks Kakarot to let her fight to the end. The fight continues, and Amora is completely humiliated by Champa, who demonstrates the power of a god of destruction. Champa says she is far below him. Amora doesn't hear this because she is passed out. Champa says it's Kakarot's turn. I will face this as part of the training. Vados heals the wounds of Amora, and the Saiyans awakens. The fight begins, and Kakarot in the first blows shows that he will not be defeated easily. The fight with Champa is a little balanced, but there is still something missing for Kakarot to overcome it. With every blow Kakarot hits, Amora rejoices because she wanted to be as strong as her brother. He uses all the knowledge that Vados transmitted, and because of that, Kakarot manages to surprise Champa at various moments. Champa releases all her Hakaishin power when she realizes that she can be defeated in her own territory. The Saiyan uses the Kaioken increased by 25 times, and with that the fight gets much more intense and devastating. The planet of the god begins to collapse. Champa still has an advantage, and finally, the god manages to defeat Kakarot. This victory confirms that Kakarot still needs more power to defeat a god alone. After the fight, Kakarot is healed and Champa comments that he will sleep. Amora says that Kakarot fought very well and that he is superior to her, because she forgot several movements, and that she could only remember when he applied it during the fight. After resting, they train for a week with Vados. At the end of the week, they will gather the Super Dragon Balls to revive the Origins that were killed. Just as Kakarot predicted, some decided to stay in paradise. The dragon also restores the entire planet that was destroyed in the war. King Cardin is happy with the news that the neighboring kingdoms are back to exist. King Cardin, using the device provided by Vados, the king talks with an angel. He thanks Vados and Kakarot. Cardin asks them to visit their kingdom. Kakarot says he one day will visit their world. The only king who met the saviors meets all the other kings, and then they decide to pay tribute. In the capital of each kingdom, 3 statues begin to be constructed. On the planet of the Origins, King Vegeta trains every day with his son. He wants to help his son have a good confrontation with his rival, Amora, Kakarot's sister. What Vegeta doesn't imagine is that the girl grew up and became a very powerful woman. Kakarot and Amora spend a year and a few months on the planet of Champa training with Vados every day. Thanks to Vados' training and Amora's help, Kakarot manages to reach the higher instinct. Vados begins to teach her how to use the Hakai energy, preparing Kakarot to become a complete god. Amora, knowing that her brother will become a god, she is very happy because this increases the authority of her family. After an intense training, Vados, Kakarot, and Amora return to Earth. Coolerine spent a year training with Guinea and Raditz in the gravity machine, which is now located in a temple room. Raditz and Guinea prepare to attend the martial arts tournament that Coolerine will participate in. Master Roshi will also be present. Coolerine is excited to learn of Amora's return. I can't miss this tournament. I have to show Amora that I'm strong. Before the fights begin, Amora, Vados, and Kakarot arrive on Earth. Bulma is present, however, and Yamcha is not with the group. During the visit, Kakarot and Amora meet Tamara, Raditz and Fasha's daughter. Saiyans was born with a life expectancy of 2,000 years due to Fasha's lineage. When Kakarot asks for Yamcha, Bulma reveals that they broke up a short time ago and that she doesn't know his whereabouts. Bulma meets Amora and the two quickly become friends. She tells her friends about Yamcha's recent betrayal. For having won the previous tournament, many girls wanted to stay with Yamcha, and in the end he ended up betraying Bulma with a fan. The betrayal took place in the current tournament during the event qualifiers. She said she intended to go home, but when she saw the god's family, she decided to stay. The tournament began with Tenshinhan having the mission to defeat Coolerine. Suru, Taiopai, and Chaos are also watching the tournament. After intense training, Coolerine attained incredible power. Coolerine achieves a significant victory over Tenshinhan. After the fight, Taiopai humbly criticizes Tenshinhan, calling him a failure and saying that he should no longer be his brother's student. Coolerine and Master Roshi, realizing the potential of Tenshinhan, invite Tenshinhan to train with them.
Toppai, irritated by the invitation made by Master Roshi, tries to attack him. However, Coolerine intervenes to protect his master. Demonstrating only half of his power, Coolerine quickly leaves Toppai unconscious with some well-applied blows. This act not only protects his master, but also shows how far Coolerine has advanced in his fighting skills. The tournament final is Coolerine against Yamcha, and to everyone's surprise, Coolerine wins for the first time. Whis notices that his sister Vados has visited Universe 7 frequently. The angel of the 7th universe suspects that she's up to something. Whis questions if her true goal is to replace Champa. Vados, trusting in his brother, admits that he cannot deny this possibility. She mentions that the Saiyans family is very promising and that any of them could become a god of high-level destruction. Vados advises Whis to consider choosing a god of destruction. Whis says he would like Bardock to become Bios' successor. However, he must keep negative feelings about him. Vados says he can help convince Bardock to become a god of destruction. Whis thanks his sister for the help. Vados stays on Earth for a few days, training Kakarot and also Bardock. She convinces Bardock to become a god of destruction. She mentions that due to Bios' incompetence, it would be easy for Bardock to take his place. Imagine you having your revenge, defeating Bios in front of all the gods and in front of the Almighty Lord. After everything that happened to you and your family, knowing that the angels follow all the orders of a Hakaishin, Bardock decides to forgive Whis. The Saiyans decides to accept to become a god of destruction. Very happy, Vados communicates to Whis that Bardock accepted the offer. Knowing that he will be welcome, Whis decides to visit Earth to enjoy the food and also to train the successor of Bios. Hours later, Whis arrives on Earth. Before the training begins, Ginny offers a lunch with several delicious foods to the angel. Whis is enchanted with all the variety and flavor of the foods. After training intensely with his wife, children, and Vados, Bardock dedicates a few days to train with Whis in the time room. During the training, Whis recognizes the potential of the Saiyans, agreeing with his sister Vados. "My sister is right. You Saiyans are very promising. Making him a god of destruction will be easier than I imagined." Whis comments impressed with Bardock's rapid progress. Vados waits on Earth for the end of Bardock's training. In the outside world, several days pass, while in the time room are several years. After a long wait, Bardock and his master leave the time room, with Bardock prepared for a fight against Bios. Vados, in a good mood, comments that she and her brother are going with the successors of the gods of destruction of the universes 6 and 7. Moments later, Bardock and his family arrive at the palace of the all-powerful Zeno. As Vados had foreseen, Zen proposes a fight between the two gods and the two Saiyans. All the Hakaishins, gods and angels, are summoned for this event. Bios and Champa are awakened by Vados and Whis. The angels say that they must prepare quickly to appear before the king. Soon after, they arrive at the palace of the king, brought by the power of the high priestess. "Are you alive? But this is impossible. Not only did I come back, but the entire Saiyans race was also revived. What's going on here? Can you explain to me?" Champa asks nervously when she sees Vados next to Kakarot. "You will be replaced, Mr. Champa."
Champa furiously accuses Vados. "How can you do this to me? You are a traitor, Vados. That's why you were so interested in training the Saiyans. If you had followed my advice and been a great god, I would not have looked for a substitute." Other angels and gods react to the situation. "But what a shame, Champa. If they lose, it will be much more humiliating." Margarita asks, "Who are you going to root for?" "Obviously, I'm going to root for the Saiyans. I'm very disappointed with you." The angel says he was more interested in sleeping than working. The great Zeno decided that the loser would be erased from existence, and he will not be able to be revived with the super spheres. The Saiyans family is scared, especially Jinny. The Hakaishins are worried. Soshin asks if they will also be erased. Daishinkan says they should not worry. The king decided that they will not be erased. Amora hugs her father. "Stay calm, little sister. Me and the father are going to win. I know you can win. Good luck to you. Son, it's time to show everything we've learned." The Homo Sacreditus says Kakarot will be the first to fight. "Be careful, son. I should have killed you the day you went to gather the spheres." "Mr. Champa, I decided to accept being a god because Vado showed me that you did not perform your function correctly. I have nothing against you. This is all for the good of Universe 6. The great Zen will not need to erase you. I will destroy him myself." Kakarot activates the superior instinct, leaving all spectators surprised, especially the goddess of Universe 2. The sisters of Vados, Margarita, and Kuz also do not hide their expressions of surprise. The great priestess announces that the fight to decide who will be the new god of destruction of the 6th universe can begin. The fight begins with Champa releasing all his power, a power even greater than demonstrated in the fight in his own world. Amora is scared. Saiyans thought Champa had already shown all his power in the fight against his brother. Champa and Kakarot exchange punches and kicks. With the superior instinct activated, Kakarot manages to dodge several blows from Champa. Champa also uses the superior instinct, but like Bios, his brother does not master the technique perfectly. Kakarot hits several blows on Champa, leaving Bios, who watches the fight, worried. Bios realizes that the training Kakarot did with Vados gives advantage to the Saiyans, because Vados knows Champa's weak points. Kakarot exploits these weak points, leaving Champa desperate at every minute that passes. Amora starts to cheer up, seeing that her brother can win. Jinny is reassured by Kakarot's performance. Kuz comments that Kakarot is a great warrior, and that Vados was lucky to meet someone with so much talent. While the fight takes place, the arena begins to crumble due to the intensity of the blows. Champa throws several Hakai spheres at Kakarot, but they are destroyed by the aura of Hakai that protects the Saiyans. Kakarot proves to be a true genius in the fight, making Champa more and more desperate every minute that passes. The king who is watching the fight is very happy, finding the fight between Kakarot and Champa extremely exciting. As the fight progresses, Champa begins to exhaust himself, while Kakarot still maintains his power stabilized. Helios comments that the fight is already decided. At this moment, Champa remembers all the times that Vados asked him to go on a diet and dedicate himself more to the training to improve his physical form. Thinking to himself, Champa says, "I will not die. I will show all of you that I am not useless." He throws a look at Vados, and Champa sees a slight smile on the face of the angel. "Damn traitor," Champa thinks, while launching an attack against Kakarot. During the exchange of blows, Kakarot says, "You are out of form, Mr. Champa. That's why you're losing control and getting tired. All this because you don't train." Kakarot warns him that his fury will not increase his power. He then displays a sequence of blows on Champa, who falls on his knees. "This cannot be happening to me. I'm a god. I can't lose to this mortal." Kakarot finishes Champa with a powerful blow to the stomach. Kakarot is the winner. Daishinkan announces that Champa must wait until the end of the event, so that Bios or Bardock are eliminated along with him. Margarita praises Vados, saying that she trained Kakarot very well, and that now he must be among the most powerful gods of destruction. Vados says Kakarot is very dedicated, and that it was gratifying to teach someone who strives so hard. The great Zeno congratulates Kakarot for the excellent fight. The king expresses how much he had fun. Amora hugs her brother, very happy with his victory. Kakarot says that his body hurts because of Champa's blows. However, Amora ignores his words, dominated by joy. Amora continues with her crushing hug. Vados heals Kakarot, and at his request, he also heals Champa. Rella speaks mentally to Kakarot, congratulating the Saiyans. She said she was rooting for her victory.
Kakarot, it would be a shame for someone like you to be erased. I hope your father also has a great victory like yours. Thank you, Mrs. Relis. The Supreme Priest rebuilds the platform and calls Bardock and Bios to fight. Bios releases his maximum power. Hakaishin says that Whis must have informed about his differences in relation to his brother. You should already know that I am much more powerful. Bardock also releases his maximum power. This time, you will be defeated, Bios. I will not be humiliated by you. The Supreme Priest announces that the fight can begin. A glow and a wave of extreme shock shake everywhere. Bardock and Bios hit each other's faces at the same time. An intense exchange of blows begins. Bios realizes that Bardock has changed his fighting style, worthy of being a disciple of an angel. During the fight, Janae gets very distressed, aware of the fact that Bios is smarter and more powerful. The fight is intense, with Bios showing to be very talented and more agile than Champa. The arena begins to crumble due to the fight between them. Bardock hits several blows on Bios, thanks to the training he had with Whis. Bios changes his tactic, trying to confuse Bardock to get an advantage. However, Bardock is fast and adapts, using his knowledge to put Bios in difficult situations. Bardock dodges all the tactics that Bios tries. This damn thing is very smart. Bios concentrates all his power on a powerful attack against Bardock. Hakaishin begins to move through the platform and the air at such a fast speed that it forms several clones of itself. Bardock does the same, and when the two launch their attacks, the platform is destroyed by the pressure. When the brightness dissipates, Bardock and Bios are in an intense dispute of powers. Bardock lets Bios' power pass, and soon after, Bardock appears behind him with the energy sphere. Bios tries to stop the attack, but an explosion occurs, and when the dust dissipates, Bios is in one of his arms. Bardock declares that the fight is already decided for him. The fight will only end when one is dead or paralyzed. Even with just one arm, Bios fights desperately. Bardock applies several blows, leaving Bios very hurt. This fight is very interesting. Let's see if Bios will be able to defeat Bardock with just one arm. Hakaishin retreats to be able to breathe. Soon after, Bios, flying at full speed, tries to hit Bardock, but Science holds Bios' fist and hits Hakaishin's face. With a quick move, Bardock breaks Bios' arm. Bardock, with concentrated energy on his right leg, hits a kick on Bios' leg, severely fracturing the god of destruction's leg with the powerful blow. Even unable to move, Bios throws several energy spheres that come out of his entire body, but Bardock avoids all of them. The fight is ended with a Kamehameha. Bios is thrown into a floating part of the platform. The Supreme Priest announces that Bardock is the winner of this fight. Bios recognizes that Bardock is very powerful and worthy of the title of God of Destruction. The angels and gods of destruction watch in silence, showing respect. Janae, with tears of relief and joy, hugs her children. Meanwhile, Amora approaches Bardock and, with a lot of affection, hugs her father. The Science family is united again, and the legacy of Kakarot and Bardock is now intertwined with the fate of Universe 6 and 7. The fight was more than a battle for power. It was a battle for the continuation of its history, and Bardock guaranteed both with his victory. Daishin Khan announces that the god losers will be erased. At this moment, Kakarot asks permission to speak to the all-powerful Zeno. I ask you, Lord Zeno, please, do not eliminate Champa. Despite his flaws in Universe 6, he has a good heart. Hellas thinks that Kakarot is insane for challenging the wish of the all-powerful Zeno, a similar feeling shared by the other gods and Hakaishins present. Thanks, Hellas. The king looks at Champa and declares that Bios will be the only one to be erased. Bios closes his eyes in anticipation of his end. Bardock also asks Zeno to save Bios. This request surprises everyone. The great Zeno decides to save the lives of the gods. With his powers, Daishinkan transfers the position of God of Destruction to Kakarot and Bardock. Bios thanks Bardock for his request, showing himself deeply grateful for Bardock having interceded for his life. Take the time you have left to do something useful. Champa, relieved, asks where Bios will live. Bios reveals that he has already chosen his new home, Planet Venom. Champa decides to return to the planet where he and Bios were born, a world located in Universe 6. Champa thanks Kakarot for talking to Zeno. He looks at Bardock and says, "Despite being grateful, it does not change the fact that you have betrayed me." Hellas approaches the Science family and invites everyone to celebrate in her world in Universe 2. The lady is very generous, Lady Goddess. The Saiyans leave for Universe 2 to celebrate with the goddess Hellas, while Bios and Champa are sent to the worlds where they will live. Champa declares the current king who will live in the palace as the new emperor. Champa astutely announces that the current king will become the chancellor of the empire, responsible for the administration. It will be an honor to have you as our emperor. Champa plans to enjoy life in the palace, while the others take care of the empire. On planet Venom, Bios is greatly respected by the queen and the princess. The queen finds out that Bios wants to live on this planet until the end of his life. Bios expresses his desire to open a school of martial arts to teach people his vast knowledge. The queen promises to provide the best place for him to open his school. In Universe 2, Hellas prepares a banquet where everyone is served with food. The Hakaishins are also present. Hellas expresses her admiration for the internal and external beauty of the Bardock family. After the celebration, the Saiyans spend some time on Hellas's planet. At the end of the day, when the Science family is getting ready to leave, Hellas asks Kakarot to stay one more day because she wants to have a fight with him the next day. Kakarot agrees to stay. After a warm farewell, the Science family returns to Universe 7. Later, Hellas prepares another meal for her special guest. Hours later, Kakarot will rest after having a very busy day. Hellas enters Kakarot's home. Kakarot, since the first time I saw you, I felt very attracted to you, and seeing you fight only made my desire and attraction increase. You have a strength and a beauty that enchants me, and I can no longer hide my feelings. Kakarot does not resist the charms of the goddess, and the two spend the night together.
And just like that, another epic chapter in our Dragon Ball alternate story comes to a close. And what a roller coaster it was. From the unexpected confrontation with Pilaf's crew to the divine intervention of Vados, this episode gave us a little bit of everything. Comedy, tension, mystery, and action on a cosmic scale. Jine's scolding of the villains may have seemed lighthearted, but it reminded us that sometimes true strength is about courage and moral clarity, not just power levels. Then, just as we thought things were settling down, Vados descended like a celestial vision. Her interaction with Kakarot felt layered, more than a teacher guiding her student. Could there be admiration, affection, maybe even a deeper connection that transcends the traditional bond between Angel and Saiyan? Bardock certainly seems suspicious, and when Bardock raises an eyebrow, you know something big is coming. But Vados wasn't there just for small talk. She brought a message, a mission, and perhaps a destiny. She's preparing Kakarot for a divine role in Universe 6 as a new god of destruction. That title alone raises dozens of questions. What trials must he face? What mindset must he adopt? And most importantly, what happens when a Saiyan, known for compassion and honor, is asked to become an entity of destruction?
Before we could even begin to process that, a massive crisis was detected on planet Aura, where magic-wielding Arajans were being wiped out by a race of warlike cybernetic giants, the Kyodans. The scenes were nothing short of cinematic: exploding towers, desperate civilians, and in the sky, a blazing light as Kakarot and Amora arrived like divine saviors. Their teamwork, precision, and sheer overwhelming power turned the tide of the battle in seconds. It felt like watching Super Saiyan 2 for the first time all over again. But then came the deeper layer: justice. On the Kyodan homeworld, what began as a military operation quickly became something darker. Vados revealed atrocities that went far beyond war, innocent lives enslaved and tortured. And so we saw a new side of our heroes. Kakarot and Amora, usually compassionate and merciful, showed that even gods can draw the line. They wiped out the enemy forces. No mercy, no forgiveness. It was a powerful moment, emotional, chilling, and completely justified. Later, facing the Empress of the Kyodan herself, they didn't just destroy her empire, they replaced it. Kakarot reached into the very essence of the planet and selected new rulers, souls pure of heart, to lead with balance, kindness, and strength. What a twist! A warrior raised for battle choosing diplomacy, restoration, and peace. Dragon Ball at its mature. So, let me ask you this. What would you have done in Kakarot's place? Could you show mercy after seeing such horror, or would you strike with divine judgment as he did? This episode challenged not only the characters, but us as viewers to think deeper about what justice really means in a multiversal setting. And what about Amora? Her power continues to grow exponentially, but we're also seeing her emotional development. She's not just a fighter, she's becoming a symbol. Someone who balances rage and serenity, instinct and wisdom. Could Vados have even bigger plans for her too? Perhaps an angel in training? Or something even more ancient? And Gine, we can't forget about her. Her role may seem small, but in every scene she appears, there's a maternal wisdom that grounds everyone around her. In a saga full of gods, emperors, and cosmic wars, Gine reminds us that the heart of a mother can shake even the heavens. We'd love to see her get more involved in the conflicts ahead, maybe even tapping into some hidden Saiyan potential of her own. And think, what do you think is going to happen when they reach planet Sadala in Universe 6? Will the Saiyans there accept Kakarot and Amora as divine beings? Or will they be challenged in a test of strength and honor like we've never seen before? Could we be about to witness the rebirth of a whole new Saiyan empire, led not by conquerors, but by protectors? And what's the endgame of Vados? Her calm demeanor hides a brilliant mind. She plays the long game. Could she be preparing for Universe not just for a new god of destruction, but for a cosmic upheaval that could shake Zeno's very throne? If you've made it this far, you're a true fan, and this is your moment to shine. Let us know in the comments. What's your favorite moment from this episode? Who is the real MVP? Kakarot, Amora, Vados, Bardock, or Gine? And what do you think Bardock truly suspects about his son's connection with the divine? And don't forget, subscribe if you haven't already. We're dropping new episodes every single day. And trust me, things are about to go from epic to legendary. Hit the bell so you never miss a twist, transformation, or battle. Share your theories. We might feature them in a future episode. If you missed any part of the saga, now is the perfect time to binge watch. Every episode is connected with secrets hidden in plain sight, callbacks to classic arcs, and original concepts you won't find anywhere else. Trust us, you'll want to catch every detail before the next chapter explodes onto the screen. We're just getting started. There are universes yet to explore, alliances yet to be formed, and enemies more terrifying than anything we've seen so far. And remember, in this story, even the gods can fall, or rise again. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay strong, stay curious, and may your Saiyan spirit burn brighter than ever. Let's slow things down for just a moment. I know you're probably already thinking about jumping to the next video, But if you're still here, it's because something about this story made you feel something. Maybe it was Janae's powerful presence, or the way Vados is shaping Kakarot into something truly divine. Or maybe it was that final moment where justice was served with no hesitation, no mercy, just raw divine power and a sense of cosmic responsibility. Whatever it was, take a second to breathe it in. Because these aren't just stories, they're emotional rides, alternate paths, entire universes of possibilities. And we build them here, together. So let me ask you something, and be honest. What part hit you the hardest today? Was it Bardock's questioning stare? The pain of the Aura people's destruction? Or was it that burning justice from Kakarot and Omura? Let me know in the comments, not just because it helps the channel, but because I want to talk to you. I want to know what you're feeling, what theories you're building in your mind, what you're hoping happens next. And here's something important a lot of people miss. We don't just drop one video and vanish. We post new videos every single day, and sometimes we even bring 2 in the same day. You read that right. Double the content, double the Dragon Ball multiverse, double the hype. So if you're not subscribed yet, you might be missing that one story that could become your favorite ever. The kind of story where Goku turns dark, or becomes a true god, or maybe even loses it all just to rise again. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure the bell is on. It takes just a second, but it means you'll never miss the next transformation, the next betrayal, the next mind-blowing twist. And honestly, that next video might just top everything you've seen so far. A little tip for you, if you're a real fan, go back and check the last few uploads. A lot of people miss them because of the algorithm, but trust me, if you liked this story, the last 3 or 4 we posted will blow your mind. There's stuff in there we haven't even scratched the surface of yet. And who knows, your comment might even get featured in the next episode. I'm watching. Speaking of comments, tell me, who do you want to see Kakarot face next? Should he really become a god of destruction? Do you trust Vado's intentions? And what do you think about that moment where the Empress surrendered? Drop your theories. I love reading them. Sometimes they even inspire the next arc. I'm watching. Lastly, just thank you. Thank you for being here. You didn't have to watch until the end. Most people don't. But if you're still listening right now, you're one of the real ones. The kind of fan that makes all this worth it. We don't take that for granted. Ever. This channel isn't just about Dragon Ball. It's about the passion behind it. The what-ifs, the reimaginings, the alternate timelines, the stories that could have happened if just one thing had gone differently. And if you believe in that kind of creativity, then you belong here. So stick with us. We've got a lot more coming. New wars, new gods, new heartbreaks, new heroes, and maybe, just maybe, a few more shocking returns. This is only the beginning. We'll see you in the next legend. Stay strong, stay curious, and stay Saiyan.